It's September already, Patriots. September 1st, Friday. This is the J6 News and Updates. And chat. Hey, Docs and Grandma. Still getting situated here. Got a nice spot in the park, nice breezy weather. Hey there, Sunkissed. Hope everything's all right down south where you are. We got Visitation Friday going on right now down at the Gulag. Everybody's getting their visits, and hopefully we'll get some reports back from the people later this afternoon when they get back. We'll have a review of J6 Vigil at Freedom Corner last night here. Yesterday was not a good day. Not a good day. In this world you will have trouble. We had sentencing go down for Joe Biggs. He was sentenced to 17 years in prison with a terrorism enhancement. Zachary Rail got 15 years. Not good news, not good news. And then today, when I get down to the courthouse, we'll find out about the other two Proud Boys that are getting sentenced today. Remember when a terrorist used to be somebody that would, hijack airplanes, kill people, hold people hostage, terrorism, plant roadside bombs with deadly consequences. Well, now apparently terrorism enhancement, terrorism is pulling a bike rack down around the Capitol. They're just flipping the world upside down. That's a terrorist now. Nobody dead, nobody threatened, nobody hostage, no demands. Just you could be a terrorist now just because they declare that you're a terrorist. So remember when vaccine meant a vaccine? Remember when you were sick, you had symptoms? You couldn't be sick without symptoms. Now there's asymptomatic. What else is there? I mean, there's all kinds of instances where they're just changing the whole vocabulary on us, and that keeps us all in that paradigm busted condition of mind where we don't want to connect, we don't want to pay attention, we don't want to try to figure anything out because it doesn't make sense. That's what's going on. So you either see it or you don't. We're waiting for all the sleepyheads to wake up. Oh, illegal immigrant. Remember when illegal immigrant meant illegal immigrant? Not anymore. Not anymore. They're just called migrant workers now. So, Joe Biggs, 17 years. Zach Rail, 15 years. Started off with a prayer by Dwight yesterday. Good prayer, Dwight. We had quite a crew at Freedom Corner last night. We had Joe the Box down from New York. Remember when all the guys went up at a Freedom warehouse there in New York and did a couple shows up there? They were down here. Gary from M5 News returned. It was good to see Gary. He's got a plan, but I didn't quite hear it. I heard from other people what the plan was, but I didn't hear it directly from him, and I'll wait until I do to report any freedom fighting that Gary's going to be involved with. Our favorite patriots, Cindy and Angelina, down for the evening. That was great to see you, Cindy and Angelina. Thanks for coming down. We also had Ron J. Spike in the house, and he performed his Chains Off song, Chains Off, which is a pretty cool video with our friend Sherry in it. Sapphire Patriot's actually in his video for that. We also had a 4-person film crew in from the Netherlands, and they had some darn nice equipment. They're not just a phone and a tripod type film crew. I mean, they had boom mics and $10,000 camera and everything, and I hope they got some good footage there last night. So I'm thinking we had at least like 18 people at the corner last night. It was great. It was really cool. All the regulars, Mickey and Nicole, Tammy, me and David, and Rebecca, and Dwight and Lily. And we also had two guests again from the Canadian Embassy vigil that we went to. They came by with another friend of theirs who has done some remarkable work on computers. So we're hoping to, or on his phone actually. So we're hoping to keep them engaged in the J6 issues. They're not Canadian, but they went to the Canadian Embassy to protest the political imprisonment of Artur Pawlowski up in Canada. And he is looking at a 10-year prison sentence right now. I do believe it's working through the courts up there in Canada. But as we all know, Canadian people are in the same boat we are. The Ottawa truckers 2 years ago tried to petition the government over the sickness mandates, and they got crushed. Remember that? They rode horses through the crowd. They made it illegal to carry a gas can down the road. Tyranny, absolute tyranny that we had no idea existed until they did that. So tyranny exposed, just like what's happening around here. Just like what's happening around here. So when I was at the courthouse yesterday, I did go to the courthouse after the updates yesterday, and the stalker was stalking people there. The sidewalk chalk was still all there. Nobody from the courthouse or the city came and washed the sidewalks down. There's still pentagrams and 666s right on the sidewalk, right in front of the courthouse in Washington, D.C., the federal courthouse in D.C. There's pentagrams, satanic messages on the sidewalk right in front of our federal courthouse. So if that outrages you, maybe you should call somebody. Maybe you should do something about it, because that's a problem. That is a problem. At 20, all right, so there is timestamps on yesterday's Freedom Quarter video. No fat-headed music artists got me copyright strike yesterday, so the video is up, and there's timestamps in there for all the pertinent information. If you want to see flag waving, though, I don't timestamp the flag waving, because that's just a given. There's going to be good flag waving at Freedom Corner. We had a bunch of good participants in that yesterday. At 27 minutes in, Tammy had a message from Julian Cotter's family. Julian Cotter is a J6er. He was sentenced not long ago, but his family right now, and Julian Cotter, is being sued for $10 million from the Brian Sicknick family. So $10 million civil suit. Here's another paradigm busting thing. Remember when O.J. Simpson got off? He didn't murder his girlfriend or something. He got off on those charges. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit. Remember that? But then that family came around and sued him for millions and millions of dollars. So I didn't know what's going on there. I thought he was innocent. Turns out he was declared innocent, but the family could still sue him somehow. So we're talking civil law versus criminal law. Once again, who can even figure out the laws in this land, the legal system? Attorneys can't even figure it out, okay? Because if you're in criminal law, you need a criminal attorney. You can't get a civil attorney to come a civil attorney would say, I don't know the laws. So even the attorneys don't know the laws. When do we call it, America? When do we call it? At 35 minutes in, Matt Da Silva gave us another great phone call once again, talking about the problems of the world. And there are many, so there's a lot of stuff to talk about there. We got a phone call also from Shane Jenkins, and Nicole gave a good message on the sentences that were handed down yesterday, the extreme sentences that were handed down yesterday. At 1:49, Ron J did sing his new song, or his song Chains Off, for us. That was pretty cool. Have a live performance right there by a rap star. He's got a new song coming out called Blacks for Trump, and we're all waiting for everyone to wake up around here in America now. When are they going to get off the plantation? The urban plantation, the Democrat plantation. When do you get off the plantation? They don't care about you. They hate you. They hate God. So if you hate God, I guess you're on the plantation voluntarily. But if you love God and you're on the plantation, you got to realize that your overlords don't like God. They hate God. They want to be God. And they hate you. They don't want you around. They don't want you eating dairy products. They don't want you eating meat. They don't want you traveling around. They want you driving an electric car, but they don't want you to own that car. If that sounds like a nice future to you, go ahead, join up with the World Economic Forum and the globalists. But we don't like that. We're Americans. We like our freedom. We like meat, potatoes, and real food. We don't want to eat lab meat that's been grown for us. It's just ridiculous. So we got to come around, America. And then at 1:55, Jeffrey Sable called in to sing the national anthem with us, and Zach Rail got on the phone. He had just been sentenced to 15 years in prison that day, and he got on the phone and talked with us for a spell. And we just got to figure out how to get justice in this country, because this is not 15 years for standing up for your First Amendment right to say, hey, that election was a joke. That election had tons of fraud, and we want you to take a look at it. That's not terrorism. That is not terrorism. But that is what the federal courthouse in D.C. says it is. I'm sick of calling my representatives. They don't listen to us. They don't agree with us somehow that the Constitution is the Constitution. We have other options, America. We have other options. And at the end, we had a nice peaceful night up until the end of the night when some chick showed up and started screeching during the national anthem. So there you go. That's what she thinks of a national anthem. I don't know if any of us actually turned a camera on her or not. I didn't. I didn't feel the need to do that. I guess her 23 people that was watching her on her channel, thinks that's cool to come hassle old people who love their families, who love their country, and they love their God. I don't know the jollies that they get out of it, man. It's something to behold, man. And I hope you never have to experience it. But it is degenerate for sure. They're still arresting J6ers. I don't know that all of our representatives know about this. I don't know that all of our representatives even know who Ashley Babbitt and Roseanne Boyland are. Michael Byrd, the guy who shot Ashley Babbitt, used undue deadly force on a small woman he outweighed by 50 pounds or 150 pounds. I don't even know if our representatives know about this stuff, because you never talk to them. You talk to somebody that's in their office, and you never know if your message got through. And then sometimes they send you a form letter back. So I don't know. You can call them. I don't know what good it's doing. It hasn't done any good now 2.5 years later. I don't think the representatives care either, Docs and Grandma. I would like to get a list of the oath keepers in our government. And I don't know if anybody's ever put one together or if there's a link to it or not. I don't have a whole lot of spare time trying to keep the YouTube thing going and staying engaged with the court cases and stuff. But on January 6th, about 120 of our representatives did vote to question the results of the 2020 election. And then the riot started before even Donald Trump was done talking. Flashbangs were going off at the Capitol before all the people that were listening to Trump got to the Capitol. So there was a group of people that got to the Capitol before Trump was even done talking. There was a time when they were all voting inside the Capitol to certify that election, and this riot had to be staged at a specific time. At about noon, the pipe bombs were discovered on that day. About 1 o'clock, I believe it was, flashbangs started going off into a peaceful crowd that was gathering around the Capitol. So I don't know how you can justify that the patriots that were there started this, because they were assembling peacefully around the Capitol and had flashbangs lobbed into the crowd there. So if you don't know what's going on with J6, either keep your mouth shut or skip a football game and watch some of the video footage that's still on YouTube. All the stuff that they haven't deleted and censored so far. And you'll figure it out. It wasn't the patriots there supporting Trump that started the whole thing. It's obvious. J6 was set up. It was a Hollywood production. They knew what shots they wanted to show the nation for 2 years on TV to brainwash everybody and make them think that they knew what happened there, because the TV was going to tell them what happened, because they purposely filmed certain events and orchestrated them. They left movie props all over those Capitol grounds. Most of the people that were arrested with zip ties or police batons or a helmet or a police shield picked them up off the ground. I mean, these things were left around the ground for people to pick up so that then they could be filmed with them walking around the Capitol. I mean, it's very obvious once you dial in and tune in and watch the evidence that's there. Same thing with the election. When you watch the evidence that's there, you can't dispute that there was much fraud on that. And beyond that, Democrats scream fraud every time a Republican wins. Republicans scream fraud every time the Democrats win. So that's why our paradigm about election fraud was already broken on 2020, because it was been happening ever since the 2000 election. All the Democrats were shrieking, George Bush didn't win that. The election machines weren't working. They were screaming election fraud. They were all saying that elections are corrupt. They were all saying that the machines didn't work and they're hackable. And then 4 years later, all the Republicans are saying the exact same thing when Barack Obama won his election. In addition to the fact that Obama wasn't even born in America. And then we had to have an 8-year discussion on whether or not he was born in America. And the gal that signed his birth certificate in Hawaii got sucked out of an airplane window somehow. I mean, the more you learn, the more wacky it gets. They're still arresting Jay. All right, DJ Daniel Rodriguez. He's a J6er. He was a prolific phone caller when he was in the DC Gulag. Then he was in Lewisburg for a while, calling us on every Saturday night when we had a vigil up there. He was then back in DC for his sentencing. Now he is in Los Angeles at a prison there. But he lost all of the addresses of the people that have written him in the past. I don't know if they got confiscated or if he lost them or not. So he has made a request for people to write him letters again so that he can get your addresses, because he's pretty diligent about writing back. And we need to support our J6ers that have been sentenced, that are in jail right now. We need to make sure, monitor that they're getting medical needs, religious services, visitation, all that. We all got to watch and make sure, because we know they won't do it on their own. The prisons are not very professional. There are a bunch of hacks running prisons and a bunch of, I would call them terrorists, because they actually have a victim. You know, they have people in jail that they are in total control of, that they do all kinds of nasty stuff to. I don't know if that's terrorism, though. I mean, terrorists are people who hijack airplanes and kill people, not people who knock down bicycle racks. So they're just they're just wicked human beings that abuse the prisoners that are in their care. Unlike Lewisburg, Pennsylvania prison was very professional, man. Nobody's getting beat up there. Everyone's treated with a sense of a human dignity. No medical. There was a couple medical issues, but I think we solved those. So DJ needs some letters out there in the LA prison. So if you feel so inclined, look up on the Patriot Mail Project. I think that address will be up there. Shadow, I think that would be on, how do I look up names of J6ers in Cali jails? That's on the Patriot Mail Project website there. You might have to scroll. I don't know that they put it in the groups like, oh, here's all the guys in California. I think you just got to scroll through and find out who's there right now. I do know DJ's there, and I think DJ, the last time we talked with him on a vigil, well, we have not talked to him at a vigil since he went to LA. So I'm not sure that there's other J6ers in there with him either. And then another thing is, a lot of people are saying you haven't gotten notifications when I start a live feed. So I'm not certain what's up with that. I don't know if that could be a mistake on my part on this end of the thing. I don't know. I'm thinking people are getting notifications. So if there is any remedies that anybody knows about that to do, maybe you have to like unsubscribe, go out of YouTube, and then go somewhere else for a while, then come back into YouTube and resubscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm thinking that would work, because that's the normal, my computer doesn't work, what do? You shut it down, you start it up again, and a lot of times that alleviates the problems. Jericho, any messages on Jessica? Jessica, we have not had any contact with. And yeah, we did have information on her. We had a call to action for Jessica yesterday, or maybe 2 days ago at the vigil. 2 days ago, I think. And we put up a lot of information. She has a person who watches, who is her, man, I forget what they call it. It's like her agent, the person who's in charge of all. There we go, silly. Let me post this for you. I've been trying to post these so that people who are not in the chat. All right, what you're seeing on the screen right now, if you're not subscribed and you're just clicking on this video, what you're seeing on the screen right now is something from a chat room that is something that you can participate in as a viewer if you subscribe to the channel, and if you want to contribute to a dialogue that's going on as this video is playing, you can do that. I know that I didn't even know about this. I was watching YouTube for 5 years before I knew you could get in on a chat room, because I never wanted to subscribe to a channel because I thought the man would put me on a list, you know. So I never really signed into YouTube. You can watch YouTube videos without signing into YouTube. But there's a benefit to signing into YouTube, and the man's following you all over the place anyways, on your phone and your microwave oven and your car, and stoplight cameras and mall cameras and the cameras at Home Depot. They're all facially recognizing you. So don't be scared. Just jump in, sign up on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and then you can participate in this chat. And as you can see, there is a lot of great information that's going on in this chat. So get a pen and paper, and when you click on these videos, because we're going to be deluging you with information on J6 stuff and other stuff that we, the people, need to start taking action on, because we've been sleepyheads for a long time, and this country has gotten out of control. It's off the rails. It's over the edge right now. There is very little chance at recovering this country in the foreseeable future right now. Our elections are still screwed up. There's no way we're going to elect out the bums. And furthermore, the bums aren't in elected positions anymore. They're in lifetime positions at the head of the FBI, the CIA, the Department of Justice. You don't elect those people. The people you elect put those people in power, because that's how they rigged the whole system. And then here's our, oh God, Dominic got 10 years. And Ethan Nordine. All right, this is news to me. This is news to me. All right, yesterday, Joe Biggs got 17 years. Zach Real got 15 today. Dominic Pizzola, I just met his mother on the street yesterday. Got 10 years. Was sentenced to 10 years in prison for his actions on J6. Nobody's dead. I don't think anybody was sent to the hospital due to anything this guy did. He was standing up for freedom. They were there to protect people from violent people that were pretty much assured that were going to be there, because people that were going to Trump rallies the whole year prior to that were getting attacked, bloodied. Rand Paul himself, he got attacked. So the Proud Boys went there to perform a service for the Patriots and protect them. There was grandmothers, grandfathers, young children in that crowd, and the Proud Boys showed up at many, many events and protected people from getting attacked all throughout the 2 years prior to January 6th happening. They had medical equipment. They had trained people ready to respond to medical emergencies. They're trained fighters, so they know how to defend people, even if the attacker has weapons. So this is horrible news. Dominic Pizzola sentenced to 10 years in prison today. And then Ethan Nordine will be sentenced here shortly. And we're not expecting any great results. Yesterday, Brandon Fellows was found guilty, and his sentencing will be scheduled for sometime in the probably distant future. They don't like moving too quick on this stuff. So he'll probably be in the DC gulag for a while until his sentencing hearing, when Brandon Fellows will be sentenced. Okay, so that's about it. That was Freedom Corner yesterday. Holy moly, it takes me 30 minutes to tell you what happened at Freedom Corner. It takes you 2 hours and 15 minutes to watch the whole video, though. So, all right. So these patriots are strong. These patriots are strong. Brandon Fellows just went in there and spoke truth. And I believe these are words from God to be delivered to those judges in there and that jury. They have to know that they are offensive to God's law. So now as Dominic walked out of the courtroom, he pumped his fist and shouted, "Trump won." Way to go, Dominic. Dominic, we're behind you. This is an absurd miscarriage of justice that has just happened to you. And we will stand and continue to fight in your defense. This isn't over till you're a free man. Yeah, freedom is the greatest. Freedom Corner, the greatest show on earth. I don't know if any of you followed Q or not, but this is the enjoy the show part of all the Q posts and stuff, I believe. It's been being set up, and this is the part where it's kind of on autopilot. A lot of patriots are going to be asked to make huge sacrifices in this battle, but I do believe that there are wheels that are turning right now. There is wickedness being exposed all over the place. All these judges in this DC courtroom were not known to be tyrants until this started happening. So this had to happen to expose them. I hope you can see how that all works. In Ottawa, we didn't know, or in Canada, we didn't know for sure that Trudeau was a communist like he is until the sickness came around. And they just clamped down and took everyone's freedom away. And then they crushed all the people that dissented with Trudeau, that wanted to stand up for their freedom. They crushed them, literally, underneath horses' hooves, behind police batons, rubber bullets, shot them just like they did at the J6 here in America. And now he's exposed. Proof. There's no doubt about it now, Trudeau's a tyrant. There's no doubt about it now. These judges in D.C. courthouse, federal courthouse, are tyrants. Nicole said that the judge that sentenced Brandon Fellows yesterday talked for several hours. Instead of just saying, you're found guilty due to laws, blah, blah, blah. He pontificated. He had words to say about his tyranny. He wanted to flaunt his tyranny. These people are sick. These people are degenerate. I don't even know if they're humans. I don't know how they can be humans because they have no compassion whatsoever. They are professional legal minds just twisting and abusing their legal system that has earned them a living all their life. Where's all the lawyers? Where's all the judges? Where's all the sheriffs? Where's all the district attorneys? Where's all the attorney generals standing up for constitutional rights? Nowhere. There is no knight in shining armor for us, America. We do this, or we succumb, basically. And right now, we got a pedophile sitting in the White House. If you haven't seen the videos of Joe Biden sniffing children, sniffing the sons and daughters and grandchildren of the representatives in office, if you have not seen these videos, dozens and dozens of children are lined up with Joe Biden for a picture-taking opportunity with all the representatives every year. And he's stroking their hair. And he's smelling them. And he's putting his hands around them. This isn't a stranger to these children. And they're moving away from Joe. They're going like this and stuff. And he pulls them in closer. If you have not seen that video, I don't know what to tell you. If you have not seen that video and you voted for Joe Biden, you need to see that video because you just voted for a pedophile. Joe Biden's daughter had a diary. They rented a bed and breakfast. She left the diary underneath the bed. Some people found it, printed it, and made it public. And the Biden family sued those people to get the diary back, proving it was her diary. And in that diary, she says that Joe Biden took showers with her when she was 12 years old. Who takes showers with their 12-year-old daughter? Who does that? Pedophiles do that, all right? You don't know, we're not dealing with ordinary wickedness here. We are not dealing with ordinary wickedness. When you think of a wicked person, it's like, oh, they robbed a bank or something. No, we're talking with people who destroy humans' lives. They destroy the soul. What does that do to a 12-year-old girl? Even to this day, whenever she comes up on the stage with her dad, he kisses her like on the lips in front of the whole people, all the people there. This is sick. So we got a pedophile in the White House who didn't win the election, and the whole mainstream media industry wants to, insist that this is our president. That is not our president, America. That is not our president. And then we got this whole contingent of Americans that support Ukraine, that think somehow or another there's some benefit to supporting Ukraine. There's some noble ideal about supporting Ukraine and sending them billions and billions of dollars to make war with Russia, who is supposedly invading them. Well, number one, where are you getting your news from? The same people that didn't tell you about Joe Biden sniffing children, and the same media that's telling you all the lies about the election and the jab and the sickness. That's the media that's telling you Russia's the bad guy and they invaded Ukraine. When in actuality, when you look up the facts, Obama and our spooks took the government of Ukraine down while Obama was president. Installed Zelensky there, and then Obama made it illegal to have biolabs in America. So now we put all our biolabs in Ukraine. This is all common knowledge to me and all the people that are tuned in and shut their televisions off and got their news from actual papers filed in the government and from real documents, and we've seen with our own eyes. So a woman testified that there were over 90 U.S. biolabs in Ukraine prior to Russia invading it. So is it any wonder Russia invaded Ukraine? Is it any wonder that Russia doesn't want bioweapons like right over their border? Is it any wonder that Russia doesn't want Ukraine to be in NATO? We made a deal with Putin, I think during the Bush, a long time ago, that we were not going to recruit any more nations closer to their border to become members of NATO. We broke that promise. Our spooks broke that promise. We do not stand with the government of Ukraine. We stand with the Ukrainian people. Oh, hell yeah. We stand with the Russian people. We stand with we the people in every country on the planet for human rights, for constitutional rights, and to determine their own governments. We do not stand with the government of Ukraine. And if anyone is in this chat right now that wants to tell me I'm an idiot for thinking that, go ahead. I don't care. The government of Ukraine is corrupt. We've sent them hundreds of billions, over $100 billion right now, with no accountability whatsoever. Practically all our politicians have gone to Ukraine. They unfurled a Ukrainian flag when Zelensky came to America. They brought him right into the chambers of Congress here in D.C., unfurled a Ukrainian flag from the desk, the head desk in our chambers in the capital of this country. You don't do that. You don't unfurl a foreign country's flag in the middle of Congress like that. That was a sign to everybody that they are in control, that they can do whatever they want, and that they're taking money. They're sending that money to Ukraine, and they're all getting kickbacks. And that's being proven right now with the Joe Biden offshore accounts, with the Joe Biden shell companies, with the phone calls from the mayor's wife in Moscow, the payments to Joe Biden. And where is law enforcement? Zero. We're between the grave and we're between prison right now, America. All right? You're either going to die or you're going to get chained up if we don't do something right now. God made that Freedom Corner movie set just so nobody can make any mistake about it. We are between the grave and slavery right now, America. And I hope you understand that. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. We couldn't have done that on purpose if we wanted to. All right? That's where God just lays out the path right in front of you. You don't know where you're going to have your first vigil. Oh, right here. Here's a good street corner. We can see the windows from here. That's all they thought about when they started it. No, it's a perfect movie set, America. Watch it. It's the end of our country. It is the end of our country you're watching unless we wake up. Oh my goodness. It's hard to enjoy things when you get this worked up about stuff. I mean, these are huge topics that we're talking about right now. All right, here's something that I'll talk about this later. We got a long enough video going on. I want to see what's going on in the chat. So I'm going to flip the camera onto this we got right in front of me. Look at that. We got one cool tree right in the middle of a nice green field. We the people need to take the country back. That is right. Hi, Free. Hi, Silly. Joe Remley. Thank you for being here, Patriots. I guess we're the ones that are plugged in. The lights are on. We're not violent. We know that we are in peril. It's like the ship is sinking, and we know it, but nobody else knows it yet. And we got to do it peacefully. We don't need a civil war. We don't want our children going to any wars. My faith is in God, Lisa, and I believe that God has got a plan. He has a plan for getting us out of this. And he will lay it down right in front of us when we are ready to go, when he is ready to go. Okay, how many people told me about the watermark and I didn't see it? Thank you. All right, so here's Shadow. Lahaina residents who survived are fuming. They are on their own, no help from the government, while Ukraine gets billions. Okay, so don't we fund FEMA? Don't we fund the National Guard? We're spending all that money to help people. Where are they? Where did all that money go? Where's the Salvation Army? we would be doing a better job ourselves, folks. Why do we give the government all that money? Because the government made us give them all that money. Because they created an event where aid wasn't coming to people fast enough. So they said, we'll do it. Let's start FEMA. I remember when there was no FEMA. I remember when the people would come together that were in the area where the tragedies were happening, and they would help each other. I remember during the Depression, there were soup kitchens all over the place. We help each other naturally. That's our charity. But our government has stolen our charity. And now we can't afford charity anymore because they tax it out of us. And then they give it to people who don't deserve it, who won't really solve the problems. I mean, the soup kitchens, you had to sit through a sermon to get the dinner. All right? If you didn't want to listen to the sermon, you didn't get dinner, all right? And you went hungry. And it only took a couple days to figure out, all right, I'll listen to the sermon. And only then will God open your heart in order that you can accept the sacrifice that's right there for you for free. Right now, we just give welfare checks to people. Right now, there's just unemployment checks for people. And they tax at a huge rate. They have a huge rate of bureaucracy that goes along with all these government operations. We have the power, Ferg. The people have the power, and that scares the government. Exactly. So let's start scaring them. Those people are untouchable, Joe Ramley. I heard on a radio show we should impeach FEMA. FEMA is an appointed position. Congress needs to impeach him because Congress appointed him. Our representatives gave away the power that we have, that they have, and they put it in FEMA for the emergency responses. Prior to FEMA, I guess Congress would sit around and then say, send in the National Guard. Let's give the National Guard an extra $1 million so they can go help the people in Lahaina. But now we got FEMA. It's supposed to be on automatic pilot. Now we got a media-free zone around the disaster. How do we know what's going on there? Because we're all watching some channel called Hawaii Real Estate. That's all we got? Where's MSNBC? Where's CNN? Where's the mainstream media? Where's the gatekeepers of information right now about that? They're asleep at the wheel. I didn't mean Salvation Army. I'm sorry, I meant Red Cross. Salvation Army is a good organization. And you can see that because when you go in any town in America, there's a Salvation Army there that's selling clothing and pots and pans and things that broke people need. They are actively engaged locally. Where do you go for the Red Cross? Do you see a Red Cross store in any of your towns? There's no media coverage there because the sheriff declared it. And we still want to know, where are the children? Where are the children? How many weeks is going to go by before we find out how many children are missing? Now that's very real. When you're messing with the kids, I don't know why something more drastic hasn't happened before now than to know, where are these children? Damn it, where are they? Where are they? Diane Schell, I don't know when Congress is coming back. I think it's very soon. That's right, J. Jones. Grass fires in parking lots do not melt aluminum like candle wax. I've seen a half a dozen photos of that now from Lahaina. I've seen half a dozen photos like I've seen dozens of photos like that around the World Trade Centers when 9/11 happened. I've seen photos from that from California, from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. There is some type of event that is causing these fires. And then the insult that Joe Biden gave the people there when he went there. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Marsha Hora. Thanks. I hope I'm not too harsh, but we are in a predicament. Why is nobody up in arms about the children? I am microchip. I don't know what we got to do to get their attention. We might have to do something to get their attention. I'll put it back to you guys. What should we do to get their attention? Let's put our heads together. All right, we got to get tougher. Okay, we haven't been tough enough. We want to know where those children are. This is what we want to know in the next 5 minutes. Where are those children? Yeah, Dev Bye. I gotta post that one. He's going to Florida. I think he'll tell a story about how his bathtub overflowed. Right. That's the method of operation from Joe Biden. He'll go talk to an amputee in the hospital and tell him about a hangnail that he had one time. Well, let's go stomping in the streets then, Two Finger. What do we do? I am stomping in the streets here in D.C. I'm stomping these streets for these J6ers right now at the courthouse, at Freedom Corner. You guys are stomping on them with spreading this information out. Stand coast to coast for the kids. There's a good idea. It's kind of hard to motivate all the sleepy Americans, though. That's a good question, Shadow. Why is there no media allowed? What is the reason for no media allowed? When was that ever a thing? Your reps are out of D.C., but that means they're all home in their districts now, Joe. So you might even be able to go knock on their door today. You may be able to go get a sit-down meeting with them. I mean, they are supposed to make themselves accessible. And that's hard to do when they're in D.C. I mean, it's easy for me to do because they're right here. And that is what we're going to be doing here shortly. Microchip. Yeah, we had a weird underground shooting range at our school. Back when you could take rifle, or when we had a marksman team on our high school team. Can't have that anymore. So let's put our thinking caps on. What do we do right now? What do we do by tonight to find out how many kids are there? How many kids are missing? Where's the children? We got to demand answers. And I don't know what we got to do to get an answer. We deserve an answer. It's criminal to not give us an answer. I'm afraid the children are dead there, because you're right. School was closed because there was a windstorm before the fire and they shut the power down. But then the power came back on, and then the power poles started snapping like toothpicks. And they didn't shut the power off then. And down power lines caused fires. Yeah, microchip. You guys know what to do when the tornado comes by, though. Yeah, I don't think there is tunnels in Maui. Well, there might be lava tubes. I don't know. There is a lot of lava. It's hard to dig a tunnel through lava. KA, my gut says Epstein Island is where those kids are. Trump told them to check those ships now. That was said the day after, but did they? Jericho, have you watched Hawaii Real Estate on YouTube? Yes, that is where I'm getting some of my information on Lahaina. Yeah, it appears a lot of people escaped towards the ocean in Lahaina. And Jay Jones, my contact in Maui, has told me the bad condition of those power poles. He knew that those power poles were all going bad, because they were all installed kind of about the same time, and he was a tree trimmer guy, and he had to go cut down a lot of those poles for people, and he knows those poles were totally rotten and should have been replaced long time ago. So it was negligent to the point of almost being criminal for that power company to not have been up on the maintenance of those power poles. All right, we got a goofball in the house. Everybody look at him. Everybody look at him. Here he is. He's dancing around for our pleasure. Dance for me, demon. Dance. I do know that there is a company called K2 that makes skis out in Washington. And they also make fiberglass power poles that are hurricane proof. I think there is that many sick people involved, Patty Leah. There is a lot of sick people. And I don't know, I do know why they're sick. They don't have Jesus, is basically it. That's it in a nutshell right there. You don't have Jesus, you don't understand compassion, you don't understand your stench in the eyes or the nostrils of God. You don't realize that you are just a piece of shit, basically, until somebody points it out for you. And then you realize, whoa, I got to do something about this. Yeah, metal power poles, that would help. So this power company I've been hearing, the power company in Lahaina is basically owned by BlackRock and other New World Order investment companies. and they are negligent on the maintenance of those poles. And when you have half-rotten poles, I mean, the transformers that are hanging on them poles are hundreds of pounds. So let's put our thinking caps on, looking for ideas. We need to know where them kids are now. So we will return to this stream of thought in the future. I got a report that there's more artwork on the sidewalk out at the Capitol, or out at the courthouse. So I'm gonna head out there right now and take a look around for you. I will probably start up a short live stream once I'm at the Capitol there. We have our patriots visiting today in the Gulag. And I'd like to hopefully get an interview or some comments from the people that have made visits today. God bless them. God bless Dwight and Lily for setting all that up, running all the logistics for that. Okay, children, another good channel to watch is Squirrel Tribe. Okay, I have not seen that one. I'll have to check that one out. We need good sources of information. If any of you got good sources of information, let's run them down. Let's get on them, qualify them, make sure they are good sources of information. Basically, if you don't profess Jesus Christ on your channel, I will not consider your information valid, because you're either deceived or you're a devil. God bless you too, Cindy. You guys are such great patriots. We're gonna wrap it up here, and I'll see you for sure at Freedom Corner, but I'm thinking I'm gonna open up a short stream, hit the notification bell. And if you're not getting notified, try jumping off, unsubscribe, jump out, jump back in, resubscribe, and then re-hit the bell. Sometimes that can work. So Patriots, we will gather here in the near future. This is Jericho, over and out.